Hello everyone, today is Fruitful Friday. I am inspirational author, life speaker, and a surrender rope of hope, Angelina Squire. Friday I did a video, where we talked about demonic wisdom and godly wisdom. And I also did another video on Monday where we talked about, how sometimes we don't look at our heart as a garden, right? We don't look at it as rich soil, and so we leave it open and not maintenance every day, and we allow toxins to come in like jealousy, envy, strife, all type of things that we allow to come in, and it will turn into weeds. It will turn into things that will suffocate our hearts, right? Taint our hearts. So Friday, when we talked about godly wisdom versus demonic wisdom, we looked in James chapter 3 verses 14 through 17. We discovered that godly wisdom is identified by a very unique and a very important attitude, and that unique attitude is meekness, right? Demonic wisdom, we also talk about, it always envies, right? It always covets, and it always deceitfully attempts to elevate oneself. And we read in Ezekiel chapter 28 verses 1 through 17, we went through that a little bit because Satan, he gave us a clear picture of what demonic wisdom looks like when one tries to demonically or deceitfully elevate themselves. Satan was an angelic guardian, right? He was perfect in beauty. He had the seal of protection. But what happened? What happened to Satan? Pride overtook him. Just like many of us today, pride creeps in. So when pride crept in, Satan's wisdom then became corrupted. Iniquity was found in him. His heart was now lifted up. So pride comes before the fall, and we know what happened as a result of that, right? God cast him down to the ground. So again, pride always comes before the fall. We also talked about, that with demonic wisdom, it's also self-seeking. And anytime we're, self-seeking, it completely disregards the feelings of anyone else. James chapter 3 verses 14. So today, let's look at some more red flags, that we can look for to check ourselves to see if, we have any bitterness or, if any envy is indeed, these demonic attitudes that we may be carrying around. We'll also look at some ways how envy, can destruct and even destroy our very own life. The first question that you can ask yourself: do you become, livid, excessively angry when you don't get all the credit for something that you have done? For example, let's say you had this amazing idea, right? And you shared that idea, with your friend or your co-worker or maybe even a family member. Now, that idea comes up within a conversation with some other people that you haven't even shared this idea with, that dream, that goal that you have, this project, but you've only shared it with that one person. Now, you were the one that stayed up night after night. You lost sleep, tired. You did all of the research. You put all of this together You put this project together by yourself. You did all of that work. But now your friend or your co-worker or your family member is the one that's getting all the praises for your hard work. Now you're angry. So if that if you're livid because someone else is taking, the credit for what you have done, this is something you need to look at. We're talking about envy, right? We're talking about how jealousy and how envy and how the spirit of pride can creep in within our lives. Number 2, you can ask yourself, are you happy when someone else's fall? Do you take pleasure in the misfortune of someone else? You're happy when that person, fall behind, or they fall flat on their face. They have a bad break. You secretly feel good when this person fails. And mainly, I'm talking about those that you secretly have envy towards. This person, probably has done something wrong to you. This person has hurt you in some way. But now, because life happens, right? Now they have fallen on hard times. Their life that seems at one time or another that it was going great for them, that they had it going on, but now life hit and they're now having a hard time, but now you are laughing at their situation. You're laughing at their situation. Listen, be very careful with this, because you can very easily find yourselves in that same situation of the ones that you are now rejoicing in because they have now fallen. Proverbs chapter 17 verse 5. Whoso mocketh the poor reproaches his maker, and he that is glad at calamities shall not be unpunished. So you may think that, it is right to laugh, at this person because they had done something to you before. And now, you're angry at this person. You're bitter at this person. And you think it's an opportunity now because they're down on, hard times. They're struggling. You now see it as an opportunity to mock them and to laugh them. No, you're just as worse as the person that has done something, towards you. So don't think that, by you doing this, that you're going to go unnoticed, that your actions is going to go unpunished. It's not. You're going to be judged just like the same person that has done something towards you. Also, you need to ask yourself, does it make you feel miserable when someone is progressing ahead of you? They're moving further ahead of you. And if this is you, the reason why you feel miserable, again, is because of envy. Say, for example, okay, you have been working on a book, right, for quite some time. But now your best friend has, all of a sudden have such inspiration now that, they want to write a book. So not only that they have this inspiration to write a book, but now your friend has only been writing for such a short period of time than you have, and now their book is completed before your book. So now you feel miserable because they have moved on ahead of you. And if this describes you again, my sister and my brother, it's all because of envy. And envy can only and always make you feel miserable. You may even find yourselves comparing yourself to this individual. You will be comparing, your accomplishments or the lack thereof against this person's accomplishments. Life point number 1, and it's very important. Flesh does not like to acknowledge envy, because it means that you and I will have to acknowledge our weaknesses. We will have to acknowledge our insecurities, right? Your self-esteem and your self-worth is being challenged when you carry around envy. You don't realize the more that you carry this around, the more that you covet what somebody else has or what someone else is doing, the more that you are bitter at this person, you're dimming your self-esteem, you're knocking down your self-worth, to all that's left of you is just, this shell of a person. Now you feel, purposeless. You, in a sense, you lose who you really are. You're no longer looking at what God has already blessed you with and gifted, you with. You're no longer searching for God's best for yourself, because you're so consumed with this envy, this jealousy, this rage, this anger that you have in your heart towards someone else. 4 practical steps that can help you to move from envy, jealousy and pride, and to move more towards celebrating others. Again, we must first acknowledge that envy is present. We have to acknowledge that envy is within our hearts. And not only do we have to acknowledge it, but we have to let go of the hostility that we have towards the person that we are envying. We have to also be mindful that pride rides closely alongside envy. And then we need to replace envy always with compassion. Because anytime envy is present, anytime envy is there, you will always find, confusion, right? Disorder. So confusion and disorder always follow envy. But when we have compassion, you will be able to feel, sorrowful when others are stricken, when their life are hit with misfortune. Number 4, count your blessings. Because anytime we count our blessings, we look at what God has done for us. And within us, we now position ourselves to refocus on what's really important within our very own life. We will be happy with who we are. We will not want to, covet again what somebody else has, what they're doing and who they are. We will want to, in fact, discover more about ourselves. You won't have time to covet again what someone else has, what someone else is doing. You wouldn't want to be them. because you're happy and excited about who you are, where you are, and the wonderful things that you begin to discover even more about yourself when you begin to focus on what's important. And that's what God is doing within you. Not focusing on what someone else is doing and how they, arrive to where they are. It's okay to look at one's life and be excited and be happy for them, but don't get stuck at trying to be a copycat. Don't be stuck at becoming jealous. Try finding out what tools did they use, to become successful. Begin to search yourself and see, okay, I started out before this person. Why have this person, just ran circles around me? You may be surprised to find that, the thing that you're hating that person about will actually shine some light on what you should have been doing, right? So that's another way to remove envy out of the way. It's all about perception, right? 2 things that envy kills. 2 things that envy kills. It kills your confidence and your self-worth again. Because now you're so consumed with this other person, you feel that you're no earthly good. You feel that, God has equipped them with all these great abilities and He has somehow overlooked you. Now you feel so low to the ground, right? You feel like you have no self-worth because you are measuring who you are and what you can do according to someone else's life. Life point number 2. Godly wisdom will always show a spirit of humility, right? You're always giving God the credit for everything. Jealousy and pride is absent within a heart that is guided and operating within godly wisdom. But the demonic wisdom will always take the credit. It would always deceitfully elevate themselves, right? It would do anything negatively to put themselves in front of someone else. Envy exposes the idols of your hearts. That's very important. Envy will always expose the idol of your heart, the idols of your hearts. Envy always drains one's happiness. It depletes your energy, so it's not even worth, the time envying someone. That's precious time that you can be using to do something productive, right? That's time that you can be using for self-discovery, right? Envy never fuels anyone. It never fuels anyone. It can only deplete you. And it can never give you any positive energy. Envy flows out of pride. And it always, again, will expose your true heart. And even more importantly, envy will show within your heart what you desire more than you desire of God. So if you find yourselves anywhere within anything that I said today, you need to get rid of envy, bitterness, and pride. Don't allow the enemy to trick you to now laugh at someone else because they have now fallen on hard times, and you think this is a get back moment, right? You think that now this is a way for you to step on them in a way to get yourself ahead. Envy destroys who you really are. It blocks you from your purpose. It pulls you out of the range of hearing the Holy Spirit. Your self-worth and your confidence is being diminished every time that you harbor around this envy and jealousy and bitterness towards someone else. It doesn't matter what they have done to you, and you're still holding on to all of that. What matters is what you're holding within your heart. See, that person can go on and do it to someone else and someone else and someone else. You're still carrying this around, and this person may not even be thinking about you anymore. So you need to ask yourself, are you more valuable than letting someone deplete you of who you really are? Are you more valuable than that pain that you're carrying around, that you can give it over to God and allow Him to take it and to heal you? Sometime again, like I said, you're hating on someone for reasons that you may not even understand. And instead of looking at that person's life and seeing, how did they get to where they are? Not everyone did like Satan, and tried to elevate themselves. You have some people that work very hard to get where they are. So if you are, holding any envious or jealousy towards someone that haven't even done anything towards you, maybe it's exposing some things within you that again that you should have been doing, and that you should have been progressing further than where you are right now. Then you need to get up off of your butt and do what needs to be done instead of hating on someone. So I pray that this video has blessed each and every one of you today. And my main focus of talking about this again was because this attitude of bitterness and envy, it originates within the heart. It's a heart thing. If your heart is not right, everything about you will be off. When envy again is present, there's discord, there's confusion. This person's mindset is all confused. It's all messed up. So we know that where there's confusion and discord, God is not there. So I advise you to replay this video as well as last Friday. You can even go back and do the one that I did on Monday and put it all together. And if you're struggling with envy, pride, jealous, anything that I said, pray. Be truthful to yourself and ask the Lord to help you, because only those things that you're willing to acknowledge, only those things that you're willing to face, only those things that you're truthful to Him about, that you're able to stand naked before Him and strip yourself and tell Him, it's me, God, and nobody else. Only those things He can help you with. But if you keep it to yourself, you still want to be a secret hater, you still want to operate in pride, you still want to be self-seeking, but then He can't do anything with that. The enemy just going to continue to use you as a puppet, and you're just going to continue to self-destruct. So I love you all so very much. I will see you all next week on another Fruitful Friday. Be blessed.